This is the Brian Kelly Radio Show at O'Rourke's Public House, presented by Team Notre Dame partners First Source Bank, Papa John's, Comcast, Nissan, O'Rourke's, St. Joseph Health System, Ascendant Orthopedic Alliance, TireRack.com, Eddy Street Commons at Notre Dame, West Bend Insurance, and by Vivid Seats. Also brought to you by Kurt Outdoor Living and by Leckleitner Door. Now, live from O'Rourke's Public House, here's the Brian Kelly Radio Show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brian Kelly Radio Show. Fighting Irish 7-0 and ranked number 3 in the country. And joining us once again for the entire hour is a man celebrating his birthday today, head coach Brian Kelly.
Thanks, Jack. After you had to bring that up.
Well,
it feels like you did yesterday. I just feel like the full moon came out last night, and I think it alerted everybody. And
well, it must be special because a certain lady named Pocky told me earlier this week that she had another commitment tonight. But I noticed that she's here with your daughter, Grace.
She never comes to the show. This is the first time she's been to the show in about 2 or 3 years. And so she came to it because it was certainly, she had nothing else on her plate tonight. She had some overdue library books, but that's about it. So,
let's talk about the break in terms of, first of all, what did you and the staff do during the break in terms of both advancing this program and maybe getting a little rest, because everybody could use it after that 7-game grind to open the season?
Well, we practiced. We brought the guys in on Sunday. We practiced on Monday all day. We had 2 sessions on Monday and Tuesday, and then went recruiting Wednesday and Thursday, and gave the staff off.
Kelly.
Thanks about
Kelly. Notice that she's here with your daughter, Grace.
She never comes to the show. This is the first time she's been to the show in about 2 or 3 years, and so she came to it because it was certainly she had nothing. She had nothing else on her plate tonight. She had some overdue library books, but that's about it. So.
Let's talk about the break in terms of, first of all, what did you and the staff do during the break in terms of both advancing this program and maybe getting a little rest, because everybody could use it after that 7-game grind to open the season?
Well, we practiced. We brought the guys in on Sunday. We practiced on Monday all day. We had 2 sessions on Monday and Tuesday, and then went recruiting Wednesday and Thursday, and gave the staff off Friday and Saturday. So had a couple of days to kind of recharge as well, and then Sunday we're back in the office. So a little balance of, continue to work and prepare our football team for Navy and recruit, which obviously is a very important part for our football program, and then, get our guys energized and ready to go. Our football team left on Tuesday, so they got almost 4.5, 5 days.
If I remember, that's a little more than normal, isn't it?
It's a full day more than they've had in the past. But I thought the rest and recovery piece for us going into November was big, and I could see the effects of it. Today was the first time since maybe the last week of camp where you could tell our guys want to play a game. Practice today was Thursday. Usually the guys are, getting through the day, trying to stay on top of it. We had guys running 19, 20 miles an hour. They want to play. So you could tell it's got that kind of sense of let's go play a football game, and that's a good thing.
Is it an advantage to have the off week leading into Navy?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. You could practice for 2 weeks against Navy and not have everything covered. The one problem about, having a little bit of an extra 2 or 3 days is you start to over-prepare maybe for everything, because they do so many things that you can't almost prepare for everything. And, they can go to shotgun and they can move 10, Malcolm Perry all over the place, and now you're starting to get into so many different things that you worry about, kind of confusing your guys. So at the end of the day, you got to control the line of scrimmage. You got to tackle the fullback. You got to tackle the quarterback in the pitch. Cover the receivers on the outside, and try not to get too caught up in all the things that they can do.
They are struggling a bit this year, but they've been scoring points. Most of their losses, their 2-5, have been close ones.
Yeah,
and
close games.
Thought it was an interesting article interview with a writer who covers them in the South Bend Tribune this week that said there's a great percentage of the players who go to Navy that in part go to Navy because Notre Dame's on the schedule, not because the Air Force, Army, so they could have a chance. Lower prospects at the FCS level who probably wouldn't star somewhere else, but they know if they go to Navy, they're going to get a shot on national television every year against
Well, they're going to get that. So they'll get a chance to play us in San Diego on CBS at 8 p.m. And, you know, look, they've played us exceedingly well. And last year, they could not have gotten a better situation. Rain coming down sideways, you know, very, very difficult conditions. And they did a great job. And we were able to you know, persevere in those conditions. So we're excited about playing in San Diego. The weather is going to be beautiful. We have no excuses. We got to go out there and control the line of scrimmage and, you know, tackle them. And an offense, we have to be extremely efficient. And, you know, we can't be punting the football.
I'm interested in the atmosphere in the game because I did not realize this. I knew there was a large naval contingent, U.S. Navy contingent in the San Diego area. I read the other day the largest contingent when you add up all of the naval bases, the Marine bases there, of naval personnel anywhere in the world for the U.S. Navy is in San Diego. So it should be at least, if it's not 50-50, it could be a home game for Navy.
Well, it is. That's why we're playing in San Diego, because of the installation and the large base and troops there in the area. But we're Notre Dame, and we sell tickets. So I think the last that we checked, the stadium seats 65,000. I think we've sold close to 40,000 tickets, Good. Notre Dame tickets. So, you know, we expect about a 60-40 Notre Dame contingent for that. So it'll be great. It'll be a nice environment. And again, I think that if you're going to go on the road and play in this kind of environment, you know, having our fans travel, this is a good place to travel to, San Diego.
Talked with Alohi Gilman last night, and I asked him because I didn't know how often when he was at Navy that one year, played in 14 games, started 12, did they face the number one defense against the number one offense? Because obviously they had to prepare for different offenses. He said every single day. Plus, also playing Army, also playing Air Force. So among the players, no one is more experienced at defending this offense than Alohi. Has he been a resource, certainly not for the coaching staff, because you guys know how to defend this, but of other players, has he kind of been a leader in getting people ready who may not be as experienced in defending it as he is?
You know, I think guys go up and ask him, but Alohi, you know, we're playing a different defense than you know, Navy is. Yeah, Navy really, you know, doesn't play the same defensive structure. So we're asking him to do a lot of different things. So as much as they would like to go up to him and ask him, hey, you know, what do you think of this? Alohi this week has been, hey, leave me alone. I've got my job to do, and I'm going to do it. One thing we can expect from him is a physicality at the safety position. So it's going to be fun to watch him play.
He told me that he's still pretty good friends with almost the entire Navy team, but he also has an edge. So I think I know your answer to this question. Do you get concerned when a guy's going up against his buddies, or does that increase that edge a little bit more, that competitive edge?
Yeah, I think he's got a good sense of where that competitive and that emotional balance is, you know, that he's not going to get too high, you know, where he can't control himself, because he knows how important he is for him to be in the game, and he can't make any mistakes where he leads with his helmet and gets a targeting penalty and gets thrown out of the game. He's too important to us. So we've talked to him about that, and he's a pretty smart guy. But he's going to be fired up to play his best against his former teammates.
Your entire defense playing exceptionally well, and even when you go to national statistics, they're almost somewhat skewed in part because you play so many very talented Power 5 teams early in the schedule, which knocks your numbers down a little bit because of the quality of your competition. But you're 11th right now in the nation in pass efficiency defense. The entire defense is much improved, but in particular that secondary. How much has Gilman had to do with that improvement?
Well, he definitely, I think what he's done is improved the mentality back there in the sense that he plays, as you mentioned, with that edge and that confidence and that swagger. And I think that's rubbed off. Julian Love is an outstanding player by himself, so add him to the mix. And then I think the maturity of a Troy Pride and Jalen Elliott is added to that. Now, and make no mistake about it, there's another thing that's going on pretty good too, and that's a pass rush.
Yes.
That's the best friend of a defensive backfield. So I think those two things kind of working together has really elevated what's going on in the back end.
We are just getting rolling on this edition of the Brian Kelly Radio Show. Back with some audience questions right after this timeout. And a reminder, our show presented by our friends at TireRack.com.
We know you like football. So do we. We're TireRack.com, and this is our version of a 2-minute drill, except it's only 30 seconds. TireRack.com has an enormous selection of tires. Not sure which ones to buy? Use our tire decision guide to find the right tires for your vehicle and the way you drive. Then get them shipped fast and free on all orders over $50. Shipping is in as little as 1 day. Free. TireRack.com ships to independent, recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Touchdown!
Hey there, ESPN's Neil Everett here telling you how to win big. Score a trip to NYC or a Nissan Titan. Go to nissanusa.com/Titan sweepstakes. Build your Titan, choose your school colors, then register for your chance to win today.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. No purchase necessary. Ends 11/10/18. Open to legal residents of the 50 U.S. and D.C. 18 and older. To enter in for official rules, visit nissanusa.com/Titan sweepstakes.
At St. Joseph Health System, every hand held, every story told, every tear shed, smile shared, and spirit lifted stays in our hearts forever. We're blessed because every day we get to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, visit sjmed.com. St. Joseph Health System. We are called to care for you.
Want entertainment designed just for you? Then check out Customizable Streaming TV from Xfinity. It makes your life simple, easy, awesome.
Xfinity gives you customizable streaming TV options. Enjoy the most free shows anywhere on any device and even access your streaming apps right on your TV with X1. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today to learn more. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Brian Kelly Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by the experts at TireRack.com. Folks, you can experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell your tickets. Vivid Seats helps you see more and sit closer all season long at vividseats.com/UND. Tom Hensler is here, as he always is, fresh off of fencing practice. Coach, we know you played linebacker in college. Which linebacker currently on the Notre Dame roster plays most like you?
Listen, I played non-scholarship linebacker, so none of our linebackers that are on scholarship play anything like me. I would say in terms of understanding the game, being a student of the game, Joe Schmidt was a really smart player. I would fancy myself as much more of a Joe Schmidt kind of player. Lacked a little bit of the physical ability, but was pretty smart. That was my MO at a lesser degree. I'm in no way putting myself in the same category as Joe Schmidt.
I wish we could dial Joe up on the phone right
now.
This would be an interesting debate.
Joe would be absolutely thrilled to be in the same category as I am. Or he is of me, I guess.
I would just love, because as you know, he was hosting Jack Swarbrick's show for a while.
He
he likes to talk.
Yes. If you got him on the phone, the show would be over.
Well, then you could rest up for the Navy game. Maybe we should do that. Gary Lazor is here from South Bend. Special teams, always a promise to improve. How do you see the special teams making an impact in the Navy game?
Well, we've had one issue, and that's been that kickoff coverage, right? We've given up the touchdown against Michigan. We gave up the touchdown against Pittsburgh. And, that has to do with not just the 10 guys running down there. It's where you put the football, too. We have not positionally put the football where it needs to be. So, we got to continue to work on it. We tried Justin Yoon there, but he's not, he's not kicking. He's not in a position to kick off for us. Here's what I would tell you. We've put all the defensive players on kickoff coverage. We're treating that like a play, and I think that's going to make a huge difference for us. I like our other teams. I think our punt return team, I think our field goal, extra point team, all of them have been really, really solid. Kickoff return has a chance to be really good. I think all of those areas have been good. It's just that darn kickoff coverage team, and a lot of it has to do with we got to make sure the ball gets placed in the right fashion.
Kyle Roberts is here from Osceola, Indiana. Coach, did you attend the Garth Brooks concert during the bye week?
No, I did not. I heard it was fabulous, though. I was home cleaning, doing laundry, a lot of the stuff that my wife makes me do when I go home.
She didn't even wince because you're right. She's here to honor you on your birthday, but she's not paying attention. He does all the housework is what he just said.
It's my show,
no,
so
I did do it.
I can lie a little bit,
not
too.
that he will, that he did do it.
It is the Brian Kelly show,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, right there. Right there.
All right, so I embellished a little bit. No, I did not make it to the show, but I heard it was a great show.
I was I was coming back from Chicago at the time and watching it all on social media, and it snowed a bit, too.
I heard that we're going to do another country artist, and Tim McGraw.
Yes.
Tim McGraw. We're going country here.
Center. That's right.
We're all country here at Notre Dame.
And
now.
Garth said he liked Notre Dame so much that he's going to end his current tour back in Notre Dame Stadium in 3 years.
Well, there you go. We are.
Hopefully on a night when it's not snowing.
He's on tour for 3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
that's a heck of a tour.
Probably, it's a 7-figure income every night for just one night.
I'd go on tour, too.
Yeah, I would, too. Just no one would want to see me. Kyle Roberts also wonders, are there any concerns you have going into this long stretch of away games, 4 of the last 5 on the road?
Well, I mean, we knew what was coming up, so we've had to prepare for it. I mean, intentionally prepare for it in terms of this recovery period with the bye week. And certainly how we travel. We're going to stay over an extra night in San Diego to make sure that when we come back, we don't have the ill effects of that time travel. So that takes care of leading into the Northwestern game, which I don't think that we would suffer in the ill effects. Then we're at home, right? And then it becomes just parceling it down to the New York trip, coming back from New York, and then going to L.A. So let's get through this, and then obviously Chicago and then playing at home. And we've got 3 out of the 5 weeks taken care of, and then we'll deal with the last 2 weeks when we get to the last 2 weeks.
And again, today you emphasized to the team about the business trip aspect of this particular trip, and you say staying over an extra night. I think the assumption would be, and my uninformed original assumption was you're going to let the kids sleep in on Sunday, but you can't. You got to get them up at 7:30 to get them back because the NCAA requires 24 hours for the kids without any football activities. You have to be back in time to practice on Monday.
Well, we got to be back in time to get
the 24 hours in.
Yeah, to get back to a normal schedule, right? So we get back, say, at 4 o'clock on Sunday. We have to give them 24 hours off. So to have any contact time with them on Monday, we've got to get them back on that clock.
This is the Brian Kelly Radio Show presented by TireRack.com. We have more questions for Coach right after this timeout.
The only thing worse than a liar is a lying hypocrite. Meet Mike Braun. He just can't stop lying about the Chinese imports he sells online. When asked in a debate where the products are made, Braun replied,
"We buy their products. I don't know where they get them made. We distribute them."
But then Braun went on TV, bragging his auto parts are made in America. Come on. The truth is right on the box of car parts Mike Braun sells, labeled Made in China. And Braun's company website has a button that translates English to Chinese. No wonder Braun supports tax breaks for corporations that ship jobs overseas. So next time you hear Mike Braun lie about his Chinese imports, just remember, Mike Braun's all about making millions for himself and lying to you. Paid for by SMP, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. SenateMajority.com, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
It's tailgate season at Ivy Court Inn & Suites, the home of the Game Day with Evan Sharpley radio show before every home game. Located right in the heart of tailgate country, you never know who might stop in. And Fisher's Tips and Chips Barbecue will feed the first 150 for free. Brought to you by 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader, Auto Import Specialist, Carmela's at McCree's, Creative Colors International, Mimo's Pizza, Industrial Door of Northern Indiana, Monterey Mexican Grill, Pet Refuge, Smith's Downtown, and Auto Force USA, Truck Force USA.
Golick and Wingo.
Coming up on a Football Friday, can the Raiders rectify their rough patch? And the more things change, do more things stay the same for the Patriots? Plus, we break down how this weekend could affect the first college football rankings next week. Golick and Wingo, Football Friday.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings on 96.1 WSBT, the home of Notre Dame football, Notre Dame basketball, the South Bend Cubs, and the Indianapolis Colts. This is 96.1 WSBT.
Welcome back to the Brian Kelly Radio Show. You know, we mentioned that it snowed a little bit at the Garth Brooks concert. That means it's time to start thinking about tires. Winter Tires. Our friends at TireRack.com, presenting sponsors of the Brian Kelly Radio Show, have what's right for you. Headquartered just a few minutes from Notre Dame Stadium. Their experts know a thing or two about driving through winter's worst. And when they're not driving in it, they're on their test track or maneuvering around on the ice at a local hockey rink for sure for winter tire testing. I've seen it. Also, you can get your tires right. TireRack.com, the way the buying should be. And I want a special welcome to the flight staff from Delta Airlines that works all of your charters. You get the same group. They are terrific. They know the coaches. They know the players. They take really great care of you.
They're fabulous, and we've had them now. They're going on 5 years, and to have the kind of care that they give us, they do such a great job with all of our, our staff, student athletes, friends of the family. They're just terrific.
And they understand it. It's not just, you want a Diet Coke or something. They understand the hydration aspect, which you emphasized to your team today.
Yep.
They go up and down to make sure the players have enough fluids, Gatorade, water, whatever, and they don't bring them the Diet Cokes and whatnot that they're not supposed to have.
Well, it's a 4.5-hour flight, so we're going to require that all of our players drink 16 ounces of fluid every hour. So, they're bringing fluids to, 72 players every hour. And those kids got to stay up as well. They're not allowed to sleep on the flight. So they get a little cranky as our guys go through the aisle. So it's a tough job, but they do a great job.
You won't let them sleep on the way out. You'll let them sleep coming back.
Yeah, we'll let them sleep coming back, yeah.
Because they got to get up early.
We just don't want to tell them about it, so they stay up all
I
night.
just
yeah,
did.
that's okay. No, we're fine.
Well, I am somewhat skeptical that after what we hope the outcome is on Saturday, that they're going to go right back to the hotel and go to bed.
No, we'll extend their bed check until about 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. But, again, I think that for the most part, when you keep them on Eastern Standard Time, you don't change their clock. Yeah. 11 becomes 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they know they got to be up at 7 a.m. They'll get some sleep.
And your itinerary does stay on East Coast time. You've got the Pacific time in parentheses, but the main number is so it affects you as little as possible.
Yeah, we don't have enough time there to change our body clock, so we want to stay on Eastern Standard Time.
Steve Dutt from Macomb, Michigan, emailed us this question on the Ask Coach Kelly TireRack.com portal. Coach, as we approach the back half of the season, how do you manage to keep the starters fresh without overworking them while keeping the next man engaged as well?
Well, it's a management issue that we deal with all year. A lot of our decisions are made based upon trying to manage those reps. So, lots of decisions are made in terms of how we practice, how long we practice, how many reps we're giving to the first team, the second team. All of that is managed and talked about through all the science that we use, our GPS systems, our Omega wave systems, all of that. I could get into, really a long conversation about how that is probably one of the most central issues that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Kathy Scholes is here from South Bend. Coach, what did you tell the players during the Pittsburgh game at the end of the game when it was so close? I'm really impressed with how focused and calm the team was getting that thrilling win.
Well, at halftime, I told them, essentially that, we're going to win this football game, but you're going to have to, get your eyes back on what your job is. We got a little bit distracted in the first half, trying to do a little bit too much, and, just go back to doing what you're supposed to do your job. And they did that in the second half and won the second half. I felt, if you looked at, I think we kept them to under 30 yards total, rushing yardage, and they're a running team. And I think Ian Book was 14 for 16. I thought the second half they played really, really well, and they got back to doing what they're supposed to do, and that is stay focused on their job. So that was really all we did, was we get them recentered back on doing their job.
Ian Book, by the way, folks, leads the nation in pass completion percentage at 75.2%. That's remarkable. You knew he was accurate. You've always said you had two quarterbacks. Did you expect him to be this accurate?
Well, he showed the ability to certainly be accurate in practice, but you've got to be able to take that into the game. So, when I made the decision, when we made the decision, I should say, to make this change, it was important that we knew what we had, and we felt like we had an extremely accurate thrower of the football.
Now, you're not taking credit for it or giving the credit to Chip, but play calling has a lot to do with this as well. You emphasize early in the season calling plays to emphasize Brandon's strengths, and that's what you're doing with Ian, because Ian has weaknesses like every one of them is the deep pass. You have put him in position to execute the plays that he is best at while also opening up the entire playbook.
Yeah, I think, if you look at the second half of the Pittsburgh game, he threw the ball down the field exceedingly well. I think what we have to do is push the ball down the field more with Ian.
What I'm saying is you brought him along slowly. You didn't make him do that right off the bat.
Yeah, certainly. There's no question that we accentuated his strength. Yes. And I guess what I'm saying is that from a weakness standpoint, what we haven't done is push the ball down the field. He's capable of being a complete passer of the football. And I think that's what you're going to see these last 5 weeks is we're going to be much more aggressive pushing the ball down the field.
Jerry Liss is here from South Bend. At this point of the season, have you decided which freshman will redshirt? And with the new rule, no one has to redshirt.
Yeah, we don't have to. And so, well, there's some guys that are off the books in terms of playing 4 games. Right now, we have only one player that is in that group. In other words, if you do all your homework and you've looked at our roster, there's actually one player on our entire roster that will have to make a decision going into this Navy game as to whether we play him or not. He's played 4 games, and maybe this is the trivia question for the night. They get free tickets to the Florida State game. But there's one player on our roster that's played 4 games, and if he plays in the Navy game, he loses that redshirt ability. He's the only one. Everybody else is under that threshold, and we don't have to make that decision on anybody but one player.
It's a great trivia question. I just know someone has to provide the tickets. So
no, yeah.
Chuck Sossman's here from South Bend as always, and you got into this a little bit in your press conference today. But first of all, how do you avoid the chop block?
Well, it's illegal, so you can't chop block. Chop block is when a defensive player is hit simultaneously, high and low, by 2 offensive players. So that's an illegal block. Or if you're blocked from the side or behind, that's also considered a chop block as well. So it's an illegal block, so you cannot avoid it. Now they scramble block. They'll scramble their linemen to try to get into your legs, but they do that less and less because they're a big offensive line now. Navy has really recruited very, very well. They've out-recruited all the other academies in terms of players. So, if you look at their roster, where is it here?
It's a huge, I should have opened it up for you. They got like 80 pages on it.
Oh, okay. Well, their offensive line averages 295 pounds. They're not chop blocking. When I started here in 2010, their offensive line was 265. And they had to, they had to cut block. So just looking at their offensive line right now, 6'6", 292, 288, 290. So you're dealing with a different offensive line than maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago.
So as you get ready for them, and they're having a tough year, which people always assume, and less so recently because they've been so good. They've gone to a bowl 13 of the last 14 years. They're struggling this year. Why do you think they're struggling? And I'm thinking it might be quarterback play to a degree because they've been so good with well-rounded quarterbacks at that position, and they've been searching a bit there.
Well, they lost 31-30 in overtime. They lost 24-17. So if you just flip those two around, right, they've got 4 wins, and they're 4-3, right? And they would have lost to Houston, and that's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
So 4-3, and they've got some of the weaker teams on their schedule, coming up later with Tulsa and Tulane. So they're probably going to go to a bowl game again if you turn those around. So they might be off a click a little bit at the quarterback position because they've been banged up. But they've got Zach Abbey back, who's a big physical quarterback who played a lot against us over the last couple of years. He'll be back in. Malcolm Brown, they've started him at quarterback. They don't know if he's the quarterback. He's back at slot. He's a big play guy waiting to happen. So I think they've been in this transition of trying to figure out the quarterback position, and I think that's affected them.
Brandon Liss would like to know, how has Jafar looked in his return to practice?
He's, we thought it would be a process of a few weeks before he would be up to speed, but my goodness, he looks really good. I'm surprised that he has played at the level in practice that he has. So I think he's in good shape. I think he's ready to go, and I think he'll play a prominent role on Saturday.
And you said in practice this week, topping out over 20 miles per hour. Talk about that technology a little bit, too, what you mean when you say that.
So our players wear GPS, which with the GPS we're allowed, it gives us instant feedback on their load. In other words, how far they're moving and how much load they're putting on their bodies during practice, cutting, getting hit, things of that nature, as well as how fast they're moving. And now here's a young man coming off an injury. We want to see him move at about 80% of what his top speed is. His top speed has been 21 miles an hour. You can figure out the math there. We wanted to see him running at around 17 and a half miles an hour. He was running at 19 and 20 miles an hour. So he was back at 100% of what he was a month ago. So that's extraordinary.
And you talked today, the medical staff wanted him in a red jersey. He had it on Tuesday and didn't want to wear it anymore.
Yeah, red jersey means you can't contact the individual during practice. And he wore the red jersey for 2 snaps, and then all of a sudden it was mysteriously gone.
I've heard the theory that this could end up being a positive, that he missed the 3 weeks, because that's less wear and tear. That's less depletion of energy. Would you buy into that in any way?
Well, it was wear and tear on my heart while he was gone for 3 weeks, because we didn't have Dexter, right? And we had to kind of, put things together with Tony and some freshman backs. But it bodes well, obviously, to have him healthy and have all 3 backs playing together. We haven't been able to get into our 2-back situation which we think is going to be a really effective tool for us moving forward. So I think it's a good part of, moving forward here is that we're going to have some healthy backs.
Now, the last few games, your offensive line play wasn't where you wanted it. The yards per carry weren't where they were earlier in the season. Jafar's loss was part of that. A few more sacks than they'd given up. I mean, one of the big reasons, and people take this for granted, Alex Bars is an NFL draft pick, and you've lost him, but you've now made some adjustments. And not surprising, you've been talking about the need to get Aaron Banks in the lineup, and you will start him this week at left guard.
Yeah, Aaron's 6'5", 330 pounds, probably runs as well as anybody on the offensive line. So we've added a big, physical, athletic player who's just waiting for his opportunity. He's going to make a couple of mistakes here and there, but boy, he's physical and he can move. So pretty excited about that left side, young left side with him and Leon.
It's huge.
It's huge and
athletic.
And they are athletic. I mean, this is an imposing. When they line up, it's a good-looking group. So we'll move Tommy, Kramer, and Ruland to the right side, and they'll alternate on that right side. So I think it strengthens our entire group.
And I suppose you're going to call somebody a professor on that line. Trevor Ruland knows everything, really helps the people around him. Tommy, great potential, has excelled at times, has struggled at times. That combination should probably make that position better, and maybe both of them better as well.
Tommy's been nicked up, hasn't been 100% healthy, and then, we've played him at tackle, we've played him at guard. To his defense, now he can just focus in at the guard position. And I think getting a blow there with Trevor coming in, I think it's really going to help him grow at that position.
Now, I've never asked you this before, and I understand it a little bit by watching it, talking with the various offensive line coaches you've had over the years, but offensive line is complicated. Those guys really, it's not just get off the ball and knock somebody over. They're doing reads, very intricate motion and movement. In your own words, explain how complicated being a good offensive lineman can be.
Okay, so if you just think about the one position, quarterback has probably the most difficult position, but the offensive line has the most physical and then add the most complicated position because they've got a run block, they've got a pass block, they've got to be able to pick up all of the different things that happen up front after the ball snaps. Line games, stunts, blitzes. If it just happened with a guy standing in front of you and all you had to do is block the dummy in front of you, offensive line would be the easiest position. The problem is where they start and where they finish is never the same. So it requires such an incredible ability to think on your feet and react. And that's why it's such a difficult position to play right out of the gates. You've got to have such a knowledge base of what you're doing and a rule for everything. And Jeff Quinn does a great job of building that rule base. In other words, if this happens, you must do this. And our guys are really kind of, in the first stages of that, and they're making progress.
You're 7-0. How important was it to you when Harry decided to go back to the NFL to have a guy that you had worked with for so long who had so much experience, other than when he was a head coach? He's been coaching in Coach Quinn, offensive line, his entire life, and he'd been around the program for 3 years to just step in to basically re-establish an offensive line that had a lot of new parts.
Well, I've worked with Jeff for over 25 years, so I've known what he's capable and what he does and what he's done for me as a play caller. So what I was trying to do is set Chip Long, in the best possible situation. Not having him worry about the offensive line, in other words. The offensive line can't be a hindrance to a play caller. He's got to feel as though he can play call and not have to worry about what the left tackle can't do or the right guard can't do. And I know Jeff can do that because I play called with him for many, many years. Having said that, I still we're at Notre Dame, I wanted the best offensive line coach that we could find. So we still did a national search. Jeff was part of that search. And at the end of the day, we had players on that. He still was the best candidate for the job. So we've got the right offensive line coach for Notre Dame. he's done a great job in allowing Chip to call plays, and we're only going to continue to get better. And
it's a tough situation to walk into. Joe Moore, a line of the year last year, 2 top 9 NFL draft picks. I have never heard it. I don't know if that's ever happened for any collegiate school anywhere ever, that 2 of your offensive linemen go in the top 9. So obviously there was work to do.
Yeah.
Fans will assume you're not going to miss a beat, but that's asking too much. And then you lose Alex Bars, but you've still been very, very effective.
Yeah, you lose 3 guys off that offensive line, and you got a first-time starter at left tackle and Liam Eichenberg. And now you're going to have really a first-time starter somewhere else on the right side, because both those guys didn't play as a starter. That's Kramer and Hainsey.
Mm-hmm.
They alternated. So you had a lot going on there, and I think we've settled in nicely. We had really, if you look at it, a great running game against Virginia Tech, which is difficult to run against. And we probably didn't run the ball to the level that we're capable of, but we are PO'd run pass optioned. We RPO'd the heck out of Pittsburgh, which, they blitzed us 68 out of 79 snaps, I think. So, we took advantage of that in the second half. So all in all, we're making the progress that I want to, and we're only going to get better.
This is the Brian Kelly Radio Show live at O'Rourke's Public House, presented by TireRack.com. We'll get to our final audience questions for Coach Kelly right after this timeout.
Join us at O'Rourke's Public House, home of the Brian Kelly Radio Show, to cheer on the Fighting Irish before, during, and after all home games. O'Rourke's Irish decor, delicious menu items, and wide variety of beer selections are sure to enhance your game day experience. Open at 8 a.m. on game days, you can watch Saturday's college football action on any of O'Rourke's 15 TVs, including a 92-inch projector screen. O'Rourke's Public House, located directly across from Notre Dame Stadium at the corner of Angela and Eddy Street in the Eddy Street Commons Center.
The 2 most recognized names in orthopedic and sports medicine have teamed up to form Ascendant Orthopedic Alliance. South Bend Orthopedics and OSMC are now Ascendant Orthopedic Alliance, offering patients access to more than 40 physicians in 7 state-of-the-art locations with no referral required. As one entity, they will collaborate with a broader group, sharing experiences and ideas so you'll receive the best care possible. Although Ascendant Orthopedic Alliance is a new name, they're still committed to the community they've served for over 70 years. For more information, visit ascendantortho.org.
If your superpower is making pizza disappear, then you've got to try Papa John's new Italian Hero Pizza. Featuring a creamy Italian sauce covered with epic portions of pepperoni, salami, Roma tomatoes, onions, banana peppers, and topped with 4 delicious cheeses. It's like an Italian Hero sandwich on a pizza. Get a large Italian Hero Pizza for just $10. Download the app or order at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tip, and delivery fee extra.
Life doesn't come with a financial roadmap. It does come with a lot of bumps and red lights. Steering clear of those doesn't have to be difficult. With First Source Bank's online money management tools, you can see all your financial accounts, balances, and transactions in one place. So you can easily set monthly budgets to help manage expenses and debt. Get the green light to a successful financial future with First Source's money management tools. First Source Bank, where better is better. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Brian Kelly Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. A great place to spend an evening with delicious food and the beverage of your choice. And folks, we only have 2 shows left after this. And next week's show, another road game show. Always a good time to come out, a little less crowded. We've got a terrific crowd here tonight, but the building isn't bursting at the seams, and you have a much better chance of getting your question asked, which may be why the Delta flight crew is here. They have a question for you, Coach.
Question?
First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
They would like to know, how is the Brian Kelly in 2018 different from the BK that arrived in 2010?
Well, we'll just have to find out on the flight, because if it's not tidy in the way I like it, you'll find out. Because in 2010, I wouldn't say a word, Patsy. But in 18, I would. So maybe I'm just a little bit more cranky in 18. Oh, and coaching.
But that's not what they put here.
No. I just fly first class, no coach. All right, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
They liked it. Phil Potter's here from Granger. Given Navy's propensity to cut block, does that affect who you play in the front seven?
No, I mean, there's going to be some cuts. I mean, it's just the way they play. But, if they're worried about getting cut.
Well, I've noticed it's gotten to the point now. You mentioned it a little bit when you first got here. Now you don't even mention it. Nobody even talks about it because you don't want them thinking about it. There's nothing you can do about it, but you don't want to worry about it.
Right. Look, if like I said, if you're worried about getting cut, you can't execute your job, and we'll just take you out of the game. We kind of went over this bridge in 13 and 14 where guys that were worried about cutting, we just don't play you, and we'll just keep you home.
Who has the potential to be the next Greer Martini?
Well, Drew Tranquil.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to be all over it. But there's some young guys that have done a really nice job. Drew White, you guys haven't heard about Drew White. He's been on our scout team, but he's done a really nice job. Paul Muwala, local kid out of Penn High School, he's got a really good nose for the football and option football. There's two young guys right there that could see some playing time.
Kevin Morrison from Granger wants to know how healthy the team is coming off the bye week. Pretty good shape.
Yeah, we're in great shape. I mean, let's go. Like I said earlier when we started the show, I think this is as close to, that week, when you're done preseason camp where the guys just want to play. Today kind of felt that way a little bit, like, let's go play, coach. We're tired.
The bye this year a week earlier than it has been some years.
Yeah, it's about a week earlier.
Would you like it? Did you like it better a week later?
I like it. I like it when it's on midwinter break, so the guys can actually go
get
home.
Out of town. So
yeah,
you liked it this year.
I do. I mean, obviously, from our perspective, any time that you can actually get them out of campus and let them go home and see their families, it's always a plus.
Lisa M. and Jamita are here from Granger. No question. I just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Coach
Appreciate
Kelly.
that.
We'll be back. I haven't told him yet, but to celebrate his birthday, Coach will run the 60-second drill right after this timeout.
Hi, this is Doug Leckleitner. For nearly 4 decades, Leckleitner Door Sales and Service has been trusted for quality installation and repair of residential, commercial, garage, and overhead doors. At Leckleitner Door, we have no sales gimmicks, just honesty and integrity by a family-owned business that my dad started in 1979. The Leckleitner name stands for quality products and workmanship, and we strive to satisfy each customer with every door we install or repair. Leckleitner Door, we open all the right doors. Call 295-6311.
Kurt Outdoor Living wants to help you transform your yard into a dream come true. Kurt can deliver bulk hardwood mulch in a variety of colors and textures safe for plants and animals. Dreaming of a new outdoor kitchen? The professionals at Kurt Outdoor Living can help you from planning to purchase to install. Visit their outdoor showroom to see the wide variety of patio pavers, retaining walls, fire features, grills, outdoor kitchen appliances, arbors, and awnings. 2129 West Wilden Avenue in Goshen. KurtOutdoorLiving.com.
Gulfstream Coach. We're looking for a few exceptional trainees for our first shift who are eager to learn, can function in a fast-paced environment, and want to learn the RV business. We're a family-owned business and offer amazing health insurance, attendance bonuses, and paid vacation time. Call us at 800-289-8787. That's 800-289-8787. Or apply online at GulfstreamCoach.com. That's GulfstreamCoach.com. You could be just what we're looking for. Apply today.
Eddy Street Commons at Notre Dame invites you to dine, shop, enjoy. Just south of campus, Eddy Street Commons has specialty shops like Urban Outfitters, Nicholas J. Salon, Kilwin's Chocolates, and Hammis Bookstore. If you're looking for a delicious dining destination, consider one of Eddy Street's many eateries. O'Rourke's, Barbici, Brothers Bar and Grill, and now open is Livery. That's Eddy Street Commons at Notre Dame. Follow them on Facebook. For details on upcoming events and special offers, visit eddycommons.com.
The Mishawaka Cavemen are on to the second round of the 4A sectional playoffs. The Cavemen host Riley tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader.
Johnson under pressure, fires to the right. It's going to be intercepted.
The Cavemen are riding a 7-game win streak into tomorrow night's game and are looking to get back to the sectional championship game. The Mishawaka Cavemen versus the Riley Wildcats in the 4A sectional semifinals, presented by Midland Engineering.
Grant Shablonsky, touchdown, pick 6.
Tomorrow night at 7 on 96.1 WSBT, the sports leader.
here. Welcome back to the Brian Kelly Radio Show, presented by TireRack.com. You have often seen players, staffers do the 60-second drill, and Coach does it every couple of years. So let's go back into your history. First car you ever drove?
Oh, first car I ever drove?
Yes. Not owned, drove. Or what car did your dad let you drive first?
I think it might have been a Nova, a red Nova.
Yeah.
Red Nova.
Ooh. That was Grandma's car.
Red Nova.
It didn't have the big engine in it?
No.
I had a cousin that had one of those, but it had a 357 V8 in it. That one went pretty fast.
No.
It was Grandma's car. You couldn't get any trouble with that car?
No.
No, that's good.
No.
Your favorite musical group or artist?
Bruce Springsteen.
You don't play it much at practice, though. You defer to your players. I've heard it a couple times.
It's so hard to play anything else but what they want to listen to.
At this point in your life, where everything in your life has been examined and made public, is there anything remaining that the public would be surprised to learn about you?
Absolutely.
Will you share it tonight?
Absolutely not.
Thoughts on the impact that the new video board has had in Notre Dame Stadium?
Oh, I think it has a positive impact, but I think if we can get Mike Bonner to Mike's here tonight. Oh, very good. No, I saw you there, Mike. Mike does a great job. I mean, he's got a lot of bosses, though. I know that. He's got a lot of bosses.
Oh, yes, he does.
If he just had Brian Kelly as his one boss, we'd be rocking and rolling. But he's got a lot of people he's got to get on that board. But it's been really good. I mean, it does what we expected it to do. It sends our message, the Notre Dame message, and it certainly in game creates the atmosphere we need.
Maintains the energy level.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even during breaks. And that seems to be a common theme at Notre Dame. If you work here, you have lots of bosses, or at least people that think they are.
I got them on Monday. I got a lot of them.
in the crowd and all across the country. What player on the team do you think is most like you?
Most like me on the team. Well, I mean, we have a lot of guys that have that, that desire and want to in so many different areas, right? Mine is focused on teaching and developing, but we have so many other guys that have, passions for other things. I think being around Notre Dame players as long as I've been around them now, we have so many guys that are passionate about what they do. And this isn't a public service announcement for Notre Dame football players, but we have so many guys that are passionate about what they do. They have such a pride in it. So we got a lot of guys. I'll tell you a guy who's extremely passionate, and you may not know it about what he does, is Jalen Elliott. On a day-to-day basis, when he comes to practice, he is so detailed and organized about everything that he does that it's amazing. He's like a coach, that he does not take anything for granted. But we've got a lot of guys like that.
Other than football, and this can be to play or to watch or to follow, other than football, what is your favorite sport?
I like a lot of sports, but there's nothing like playoff hockey.
Interesting.
Right? I mean, when it is going and it is the intensity of playoff hockey, I think is as good as it gets.
So if you were not busy, and you will be busy getting ready for a game on January 1st,
no doubt.
The Bruins, Blackhawks in the stadium would be an interesting event.
I would be at that. There's not that I, obviously, if I had chores from my wife, I'd clean the house again. But certainly that's a game I would go to.
All right. The look on Gracie's face right now is just completely.
No, I have to clean up after her. That's a college student right there. So you know who makes the mess.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Who do you think the hardest hitter on your team is right now? Oh, we got people.
The hardest hitter.
Hardest hitter.
The guy that you don't want to get hit by.
Yes. Now, you have a lot of them. We'll make that clear.
God, there's a number of
Somebody yelled out Jerry Tillery.
Jerry's a guy I wouldn't want to get hit by. I probably would have to lean towards. God, it's a toss-up.
This is good that there's so many of them, which is why this defense is so good.
I would say Tranquil can really fit you up pretty good and hit you. I think the other guy that is surprisingly you don't want to get hit by is Julian Okwara.
Yeah.
Because he's mass. You know, it's not mass times velocity. It's his speed and his strength are unmatched on our football team.
Best comedian on the team, guy that makes you smile on a regular basis.
Guy that makes me smile as a player.
Yeah. We can do coaching staff too, but player.
Alizé Mack.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. He's funny.
When you interview him, he's pretty serious.
Yeah, but
it's totally different.
Totally different.
Open the door. How about the coaching staff? Who can break the tension in a meeting of the coaches?
Who's the funniest?
Yeah.
They're not very funny around me. They all get.
I knew that would be the answer, but
I would say probably Todd Light, though. Todd Light's probably the guy that can probably get the room going.
On the current team, who do you think is most likely to become a football coach? I'm sure there's more than one.
Oh, yeah, there's a number of guys that I think would. But Drew Tranquil, to me, I mean, he'd be a great coach. Yeah, smart. Could really influence young men in the directions of their lives. Drew Tranquil would be awesome.
With the players, I always wrap this up about the best thing about playing for Notre Dame. What's the best thing about being the head coach at Notre Dame?
The ability to influence the kind of young men that I get on a day-to-day basis, that when they leave here, they're going to be leaders in our country. You know, that's pretty awesome. You know, the guys that come through our doors here at Notre Dame someday could be president of the United States. They're going to be leaders of our economy, of our public policy, of foreign relations. I mean, that's pretty cool.
And Saturday, you're going to see a game between two teams made up of those kinds of guys that will go on to be leaders in this country. And we'll be back to wrap things up by taking a final look at this year's edition of the Notre Dame-Navy rivalry right after this final timeout.
We know you like football. So do we. We're TireRack.com, and this is our version of a 2-minute drill, except it's only 30 seconds. TireRack.com has an enormous selection of tires. Not sure which ones to buy? Use our tire decision guide to find the right tires for your vehicle and the way you drive. Then get them shipped fast and free on all orders over $50. Shipping is in as little as 1 day. Free. TireRack.com ships to independent, recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Touchdown!
Join us at O'Rourke's Public House, home of the Brian Kelly Radio Show, to cheer on the Fighting Irish before, during, and after all home games. O'Rourke's Irish decor, delicious menu items, and wide variety of beer selections are sure to enhance your game day experience. Open at 8 a.m. on game days, you can watch Saturday's college football action on any of O'Rourke's 15 TVs, including a 92-inch projector screen. O'Rourke's Public House, located directly across from Notre Dame Stadium at the corner of Angela and Eddy Street in the Eddy Street Commons Center.
Many things can contribute to a bad day, and sometimes the planets seem to align, and all of those things happen at once, or at the very least in rapid succession. Then you get your worst day. But if you have a West Bend insurance policy covering the important things in your life, your worst day doesn't have to end up so bad after all, because the worst brings out our best. West Bend. To find out more, go to thesilverlining.com.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss your chance to experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell tickets to any event. Home games, on the road, even sold-out games, no problem. And every transaction is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats lets you see more and sit closer all season long. Support the Fighting Irish with tickets from the official ticket marketplace, Vivid Seats. Available now at vividseats.com/UND. Well, we have about a minute to wrap up this show. We have talked extensively about the matchup with Navy. I think it's kind of like going to the dentist without Novocaine because they play so hard and it's so hard to stop that offense. So give me your 3 keys to Saturday.
Well, look, at the end of the day, it's football, right? So you got to block, you got to tackle, you got to control the line of scrimmage, and you can't, at the end of the day, you can't turn the football over. So as much as we get caught up in Navy and the triple option and all those things, this is still about football. And you win football games by controlling the line of scrimmage, physicality, block and tackle, catch the football. We do that, we're going to win the football game.
And in this case, it shouldn't have that much of an impact. But one of the biggest plays of this game is the coin toss. You want to win that.
And there's no doubt about that. And you can't punt the football either.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, Notre Dame and Navy. Folks, thanks for coming out. 2 shows left. We're back here next 30. For Coach Kelly, I'm Jack Nolan. Good night, everybody, and go Irish.
This is the Brian Kelly Radio Show at O'Rourke's Public House. Presented by Team Notre Dame partners, First Source Bank, Papa John's, Comcast, Nissan, O'Rourke's, St. Joseph Health System, Ascendant Orthopedic Alliance, TireRack.com, Eddy Street Commons at Notre Dame, West Bend Insurance, and by Vivid Seats.